Hey, what's up, folks? This is Gray here, and today we are going to jump into part 2 of prepping tips for 2023 by popular demand, per se, right? So we're going to go over 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 in this video, and if you haven't seen the first part, I will put a link. I think it'll pop up here, I don't know. It pops up somewhere up there, and you can check that out if you haven't seen that yet, the first 5. And in this video, like I said, we're going to cover the other 5. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I always look forward to hearing back from you. All right, let's kind of roll into this. So continuing from number 6, where we left off last week, is food preservation, right? And basically what I'm trying to garner out of this is to step out of your comfort zone. Now, there's a lot of you folks out there that may already that may have, all the proper gear and whatnot. But if you're someone new that's just getting into food preservation, I suggest maybe this year you learn something like canning, which is something that I'm doing for the first time. A lot of you folks have been canning either majority of your life or just gotten into it over the last 5 years or a decade or so. This will be new for me. And I know I've been talking about it over probably a year and a half now, but this is something that I'm going to do here in 2023. And of course, we'll have some fun on the videos with this as well, but also look at dehydrating. Dehydrators are very cost effective. You can get into that. And just find ways to save money and preserve food outside of just buying your canned goods and your freeze-dried foods, which are great for your prepper pantry. But sometimes you might want to look at these options as well, because long-term, by buying the meats and vegetables and all the stuff you do, let's say out of your garden or whatnot, this is the best way, or one of the best ways, to preserve food. So that's going to be one of my my number 6 on my list for 2023 is food preservation. Specifically for myself is going to be canning. Are you guys learning something new in regards to food preservation this year? Put it down in the comments. I always like to hear from you folks. All right, so number 7 for my prepper tips for 2023 is going to be home organization. Knowing what you have and how many and the quantity that you have, and having a list to jot things down, and just knowing how many you have of certain products. Let's say you bought something 3 years ago, and you have 17 cans of that, and knowing exactly how many cans, the date, your first in, first out rules, and all that fun stuff like that. Now, the freeze-dried foods are a little bit different, but I do tell people to pay attention, because some of these freeze-dried foods also, some of people think 25 years, some of them are only 7, 10, 15 years. So you need to be very conscious when you do stuff like that. Now, that being said, home organization can kind of go anywhere. You have your food pantry, which is a lot of folks like to get super organized in that, because food is essential for survival. And but this can go to anything. Let's say you have your ammunition. You have different types of ammunition for your firearms. You have different medical supplies. Be it your over the counters, medications, and the list goes on. Let's say you have things like batteries, that double A's, triple A's, the CR 2023s, and the list goes on. And you have so many things that you've bought at different times throughout the year, or 5 years, how many you have, how long you've had them for, and everything like that. And a benefit to that with home organization for me specifically is the fact that, let's say a hurricane decides to present itself here in Florida, and I asked the wife or my daughter or someone to say, hey, I need you to go get 3 rolls of the duct tape, and I like the black duct tape versus the silver duct tape. And she says, okay, well, where's it at? And I'm saying, well, it's in the garage, 4th shelf over from the right, 2nd shelf down. And she'll see that, okay, we have 23 rolls. I'm going to grab 3, so we subtract 3, and so we need to replenish that. So it gives you an idea of what you have, what you need to replenish, how long you've had it for, and the list goes on. So hopefully some of you folks out there might be on the same page as me this year for 2023, is getting your home organized, because it'll make your life so much easier, as well as people in your household that you're trying to get on the same mindset in emergency preparedness. Because if they find it's too complicated, they may not be too much into it as you are. When they find out how simple it is, how fun it can be, and how organized things are, it's going to make them have more interest in it. At least from my perspective and my experiences, people, when they come in there and say, wow, this is really cool, I want your advice. How do I duplicate this in my home? And I start teaching those folks on how I start to do my home organization. Now that we've moved into this new house, it's like a whole clean slate, and I get to start from scratch and organize every single thing and every aspect of all my preps. So hopefully this will inspire some of you folks out there to get organized and start let's say, start in your prepper pantry, then move into your garage, then move into your medical preps, move into, like I said, if you have a stockpile of ammunition and so on and so forth, is to get organized as possible. Learn all the different things like first in, first out, your rotations, and all that fun stuff like that. And having a list or some sort of chart, which you can find plenty of them online, to write your information down. I think, what is it? If I recall correctly, Prepper Nerd has an inventory thing that I think over at Alaska Prepper he discusses a lot. But anyways, or create your own, whatever that is going to be convenient for you, that's going to be most effective for you, do that. So that's number 7 on my 2023 prepper tips. All right, folks. So here we are moving on to number 8. Number 8 for me in 2023, and hopefully this might benefit some of you folks, is firearms. So outside of just firearms in general, so let's say you have something like this, something on an AR style platform, be it something like this, with all the accessories and whatnot, or do you have, like, say, a full-size compact firearm, you know what I mean? Or let's say some of you other folks who might everyday carry something more of a subcompact size, you know what I mean? Something nice and compact that you can keep in your hip or in the small of your back or wherever, something that's very compact. Now, with firearms in general, here's the big thing, folks. If you're going to get a firearm, any one of these, full size, subcompact, AR style, whatever that you have, you may even have one right now, being that you're a prepper and you're watching this channel, right? But all in all is safety, 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 and training. So what I want you to take away is, if you've just recently got a firearm, or if you had a firearm for a while and you just haven't used it, you kind of bought it, you put it to the side in case things pop off, and you want to protect yourself, your family, your home, wherever it may be, a huge thing is make sure that you are proficient in that specific firearm. So if you're using an AR style platform, that you're going to be proficient in that. Or if you're using a subcompact, a handgun, whatever it may be, I want you to be as efficient and as effective with it as possible. So training, training, training with that firearm. So if you haven't got this training, 2023, maybe set that as your New Year's resolution, right? You want to basically get trained as much as possible. If it's being something static at a gun range, or something more mobile and whatnot, where you're moving targets and things like that, get as much training as you possibly can. Become as effective and efficient with this, because if it comes down to something like this, between you and an assailant, or whatever the case may be, and you're trying to protect your family, you want to be the best at this at possible. Now, when it comes to things that you should look at when you have a firearm, or if you're owning a firearm, is you need to know how to break these things down. You need to know how to, let's say, take this thing apart and know how to clean it from top to bottom. If it needs oil or grease, depending on what kind of firearm you got, what the age of the firearm, it all takes different things. Make sure you know what to use properly with these firearms. Also, spare parts, folks. You might want to get an additional upper or an additional lower. You might want to get some extra buffer springs, trigger assemblies, and the list goes on. Maybe more magazines, and so on and so forth. And of course, have enough ammo for whatever firearm that you may have. Also, when it comes to firearms, when you look at these things and you have all the things you got, so okay, you got the training, you're very effective in using this firearm, let's say all 3 or just the one, whatever that you may have. You also may want to look at things like ways to, basically, if you're going to make holes, you want to learn how to plug holes. To me, anybody who has a firearm should have some sort of training in some sort of form of medical training in regards to stop the bleed, knowing how to properly use a tourniquet, how to use chest wall seals, and the list goes on. Anything that pertains specifically to firearms, you should get some sort of education and learn how to use that effectively on the person that you're trying to save. Maybe it be a buddy of yours, you know what I mean? Or maybe there was an accident, or whatever the case may be. If you're going to own a firearm, you should also be well versed in medical training. Be it if you want to work with some EMTs that you may be friends with, or a paramedic, or someone like myself that was a combat medic in the Army, work with someone that can kind of train you on some of this gear. I've done some reviews in the past on individual first aid kits from like Refuge Medical. A lot of you guys know who Bear Independent is. I think I have an affiliate link down below. They make some of the best, honestly, the best kits out there for first aid and whatnot, and then some for trauma, and the list goes on. And you want to have good stuff. You don't want to buy cheap Chinese stuff that's going to fail on you, specifically with the tourniquets and stuff like that. So know how to use that stuff. If you're going to make holes, please learn to also plug holes. All right, so let's get into where are we at? Let's get into number 9. All right, folks, so here we're at number 9 on prepper tips for 2023. So let's say you have your bug out bag, your get home bag, your everyday carry bag, whatever it may happen to be. At least minimum of once a year, man, you should truly honestly go through your bag, see what's in it, and kind of assess the gear that's in there, make sure it's in working order. If you have, let's say, MREs or any type of like food items in there, maybe you want to replace them and rotate them with other things. That's a huge takeaway when you have a bug out bag, get home bag, so on and so forth. Also, something you also may want to look at when you're looking at your gear and whatnot is if you have any medical supplies in there, any type of medications and things like that, you might want to assess them, because I keep this thing in my car or truck, whatever you have, 24/7. So it's in Florida heat, Florida humidity. So I like to check things out frequently because you never know how those medications are going to react to the weather around you. So that being said, folks, at least, maybe every 6 months to at least once a year, let's say every January, open up your bag, dump everything out, reassess what you have in there, kind of go through everything, make sure everything is nice and clean, working order, all your food's there, replace what you need to replace so that your bug out bag, your get home bag, or whatever it may be that you have is ready to go to rock and roll when you are or when an emergency presents itself. All right, and that's going to be number 9. Let's go ahead and move into number 10. All right, so here we are at number 10. And number 10 is going to be financial security. A lot of us aspire to get this, to become debt free, to do certain things with our finances and to get ahead in life. And maybe 2023 is going to be that year for you. So this is going to be number 10. Real quick before I get into this, I have a little blooper at the end of this video here. If you guys care, if you guys have been watching this long, you'll probably end up watching a little blooper that I'm going to attach to the end of this. It's kind of funny. Lady Grey had some time to do part of the videos of this, and she started recording before she was supposed to record. Anyways, enough of that. I just figured I'd let you guys know there's a blooper at the end of this. Usually I don't do it. I've been doing bloopers for a while, but I just never posted them. But I figured why not? I'll share with you folks. Just because we're only human, right? Anyways, number 10 is going to be financial security. What I mean by financial security is, man, when you come out of the holidays, the credit cards are maxed out, or some people max them out. It's just very stressful, and it puts not only stress on yourself, but it puts stress as well as your significant other and possibly your family. So the best thing to do is, here's and I'm no financial advisor, so this is just me on how I run my finances for me. One thing I do, you guys know me, I'm huge into silver. I love dealing with silver. Silver rounds, I prefer silver rounds over anything. I just love the way they feel. I just love silver. You guys know I love silver. So I do a lot of investing in silver, physical silver, not the fake silver. Some people might consider it fake silver, but I do real silver. I like something tangible that I can have in my hand. It's just something that I invest in personally. I'm not saying go out and buy all the silver you can. This is just what I like to do with additional income that I have. That being said, because fiat currencies in the banking system it's just troublesome in general. And if the banks ever fail, or if the banks ever shut down, and you don't have cash or some sort of form of commodity that's going to be worth something to someone else, you're going to be in a position that's not going to be good. So if you're in debt, do everything you possibly can to get out of debt. I know it's easier said than done, right? I was in debt for years, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in debt. It takes a long time, depending on how your life is, to get out of that debt. But once you do, try to stay out of that debt. And here's what I did, and I'll be honest with you, is basically I took just my change at one point, and then I started taking $1 bill a day. And I think, a lot of you folks know who one of my moderators are when we do the live streams, this Yarn Prepper. She's on Instagram, and she had posted something like that, and it made me think about what I'm talking about now. Is that financial? So if you take just a couple of dollars, your spare change, let's say you break a $20 bill, you got a few ones and some change, and you put that to the side, right? Over as a year's time, it's unbelievable how much money that you'll have put to the side. And then you can apply that money to your debt. If you have debt, a lot of us have a car, a house, or credit card debt, or whatever it may be. So one of my biggest goals is coming out of the holiday season is to make sure everything is paid off. And here's my specific way of doing it. I know everybody can't do it this way, but just going to give you the way I do it, is I save up for the year. because I know what my wife and what she's planning on doing for Christmas and the holidays and what she wants to do when she wants to get families and friends and so on and so forth. And I put that cash away. And I will use a credit card. Not all people like to use credit cards because it's a way, you kind of get stuck with the interest rates. But what I do is I put that money to the side. I'll let her do what she's going to do. And then as soon as that holiday's over, I take that fiat currency and I pay off that credit card debt. So we're back down to zero. I feel comfortable not owing money to some piece of plastic or some company that's going to charge you enormous amounts of interest, because that's the way they live. They make billions and billions of dollars on interest. So if there's any way that you can find some sort of financial security by either being debt free, or you're trying to do some investments and investing into precious metals or into your preps in general, so be it. I think that's one of the key things here moving into 2023. If you haven't started yet, please do so. I'm telling you folks, you will feel so good inside. You'll feel a lot less stressful when you know that you have some sort of financial stability to go on. And be it if you're just putting money away and an emergency arises and you have those finances to resolve that issue, that it doesn't put you back into debt. Because being in debt truly, truly sucks. Anyways, I think that's really completes my the last 5 things for prepping in 2023. My tips, like again, this is all preference. This is all what my suggestions are to you, my viewers. And I hope some of this stuff helped you on these lists. A lot of you guys asked for this part 2 of this. I want to say thank you for watching my videos. I truly appreciate every single one of you guys that drop comments, that I interact with. I really enjoy reading all your material that you guys leave down below and some of the pointers and tips that you guys send me. It does mean the world to me. Without you, there would be no me. That being said, folks, you are not alone. This is GreyMan. I'm out. I'll see you guys in a rebound, and God bless.
Hey, you know I'm recording, right?
We're start recording?
Yeah, I already started recording.
You gotta tell me these things. I'm sitting here eating my Nutrient Survival peanut butter bar. I'm on day 3. Come on, man.